Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Nam. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki So Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 10, verse 14. Nyarundhan Udgalad Bashpam
Nyarundam Udgalat Bashpam
Autkantya Devaki Sute
Autkantya Devaki Sute
Niryati Agarano Badram
Niryati Agarano Badram
Iti Syad Bandavastriya
Iti Syat Bandavastriya
Nyarundhan Udgalad Bashpam
Nyarundan Udgalat Bashpam
Autkantya Devaki Sute
Autkantya Devaki Sute
Niryati Agarano Abhadran Niryati Agarano Abhadran Iti Syad Bandavastriya
Iti Syat Bandavastriya Nyarudyan Udgalat Bashpam
Nirundan Udgalat Bashpam
Outkantyat Devaki Sute
Autkantya Devaki Sute
Niryati Agaran No Badram
Niryati Agarano Badram
Iti Syat Bandavastriya
Iti Syad Bandavastriya. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravindha Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Synonyms. Nyarundam, checking with great difficulty.
Nyarundam checking with great difficulty.
Udgalat, overflowing.
Udgalat overflowing.
Bashpam, tears.
Bashpam tears.
Outkantyat, because of great anxiety.
Outkantyat because of great anxiety.
Devaki Sute, unto the son of Devaki.
Devaki Sute unto the son of Devaki.
Niryati, having.
Niryati
Having come out.
having come out.
Agarat, from the palace.
Agara from the palace.
Na, not.
Na, not.
Abhadram, inauspiciousness.
Abhadram, inauspiciousness.
Iti, thus.
Iti, thus.
Syat, may happen.
That may happen.
Bandhava, relative.
Bandhava, relative.
Striya, ladies.
Striya, ladies.
Translation, please repeat after me. The female relatives whose eyes were flooded with tears out of anxiety for Krishna,
whose eyes were flooded with tears out of anxiety for Krishna,
came out of the palace, they could stop their tears only with great difficulty.
They could stop their tears only with great difficulty.
They feared that tears would cause misfortune at the time of departure.
They feared that tears would cause misfortune at the time of departure.
Purport.
There were hundreds of ladies in the palace of Hastinapura. All of them were affectionate to Krishna. All of them were relatives also. When they saw that Krishna was going away from the palace for his native place, they were very anxious for him. And as usual, tears began to roll down their cheeks. They thought at the same time that the tears at that moment might be a cause of misfortune for Krishna. Therefore, they wanted to check them. This was very difficult for them because the tears could not be checked. Therefore, they smeared their tears in their eyes. And their hearts throbbed. Therefore, ladies who were the wives of and daughter-in-law of those who died in the battlefield never came in direct contact with Krishna, but all of them heard of him and his great activities. And thus they thought of him, talked of him, his name, fame, etc., and became affectionate also. Like those who were in direct contact, therefore, directly or indirectly, anyone who thinks of Krishna, talks of Krishna, and worships Krishna becomes attached to him because Krishna is absolute. There is no difference between his name, form, qualities, etc. Our intimate relationship with Krishna can be confidentially revived by our talking of, hearing of, or remembering him. It is so done due to spiritual potency.
Hari Om Tat Sat. Mama Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Jaya Pataka Swamin Iti Namine Namo Acharya Padaya Nitaya Kripa Pradhaine Gaurakata Dhamadhaya Nagara Grama Tarine Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadhe Paschatya Desatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hariharaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopala Govindaram Srimad Sudanam Mukam Karodi Vachalam Twangan Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamham Mande Sri Gurum Dinatharinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Mishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. So this is a very, very wonderful translation and purport. Generally, the females, the flowing of tears with relation to Krishna is called ecstasy. This is the ecstatic symptom. Even the persons who have not seen Krishna, by simply hearing about him and thinking of him, like the wives of those who have given up their lives in, battlefield of Kurukshetra in front of Krishna. So they also, because Krishna is non-different from the thoughts of Krishna and hearing about Krishna, his name, his fame, his qualities, his entourage, his pastimes, all, and is even representative of Krishna, associates like Guru Maharaj. So thinking of Krishna or his personal bona fide representative yields always the spiritual benefits to the person who somehow or the other thinking. And when it is coming to ladies, they generally, their ecstasy will be very high and they cannot check tears in such cases. Men also, it is not only ladies actually, men also, but men were able to at least check tears, but the ladies were not able to check tears because of the separation. This is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He has exhibited this mood, which now we are seeing in Srimad Bhagavatam's pages. 5,000 years ago, what happened? 500 years ago, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Yuga inam nimishena chakchucha pravrujativam sunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. So Lord Chaitanya was, crying, and that is kind of, torrents of rain coming out of the eyes of Lord Chaitanya by not seeing Krishna in the mood of a pure devotee, the purest of devotee, the supreme pure devotee, Radharani's mood. He took up and he exhibited the same in the very exalted manner. And he has given that particular love and the feeling of separation from Krishna to one and all through this chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So even by hearing Krishna's name, directly or indirectly, also causes this particular tears from the eyes when they hear that he's going to leave to his native place. Then this very thought is, creating ecstasy in the persons. And here they could not check their tears. So the tears rolled down their cheeks. Ecstasy. And but however, they thought at the time of departure, crying may bring inauspiciousness. So they try not to cry. But they cried for Krishna. This is wanted. Cry for Krishna, directly or indirectly, just merely hearing about this, just name itself. Sometimes ISKCON devotees also will very easily experience this. In a different environment, a non-devotional environment, when he's locked up, somehow or the other, he happened to hear the name of Krishna itself, will bring in a big, ecstatic emotion in the devotees. That is Srila Prabhupada's mercy. Jai Srila Prabhupada. So, they wanted to check the tears, but they could not. It was very difficult for them because the tears could not be checked. And so that is why they smeared their tears in their eyes. And their hearts throbbed. So that means, these ladies who tried to check the tears, but despite that, they could not check it and they cried for Krishna, is actually most of them are wives and daughters-in-laws of those who died in the battlefield. And these ladies, they have never come in direct contact with Krishna, but they heard about it. They heard about it, uncommon activities. They heard about his wonderful, wonderful pastimes. And, talking of him always at home. Now, what happened today? Every day in the war, they were listening to what Krishna did. So his name, his fame, his, instructions, his leelas, they naturally became affectionate because Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and he is intimately related to every individual living entities. Even unknowingly, if one hears the name of Krishna, the affection will throb in the heart. This is the beauty of Krishna, and that's the difference between Krishna and ordinary living entities. If you hear of somebody whom you don't even know, it would be just a word for you. His name will be just a word for you. You will not show any kind of emotion. Suppose I say, Mr. Edwin, So you will not even remember if there is a person called Edwin, and if you don't know there was ever a person Edwin, you have no emotion, you have no feeling. But Krishna is not like that. If someone in the Western countries, people, they don't know what is Krishna. Srila Prabhupada went and he spoke of Krishna, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and he has introduced Krishna to the Westerners. And when they hear Krishna's name, that is from pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, naturally they became immediately, they're attracted. That kind of, separation. That Krishna is there. Oh, where is he? How he would look like? What he does? This kind of things automatically throb in. And Srila Prabhupada has triggered this particular ecstatic feeling in the Western European countries and, America when he went there. So that's the beauty of Krishna's name. His simple name itself brings in tears. Even though they are not directly in contact with Krishna, the moment they hear, they are in contact with Krishna. That is the Krishna's speciality. That is Krishna's beauty. Simply anybody, even directly or indirectly, thinks of Krishna or talks of Krishna or hears about him or worships him, they naturally become attached to him. You hear any other word, you won't be attached to that word. But Krishna, even though you don't know, in Western countries, they never know what is Krishna. But the moment they heard it, they become attached. They heard it from Srila Prabhupada, they attached. Because Krishna is absolute and Krishna has a private relationship with every living entity. Mame Vamse Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta, Sanatana. Everybody is part and parcel of Krishna. There is no difference between his name, form, quality, Abhinatva, Nama, Namina. And we have an intimate relation with Krishna. That is a confidential relationship. As soon as you hear of him, as soon as reality is revived in the heart, because it's already there. And we try to remember there's something you are missing as soon as you hear Krishna, because you know him. You are part and parcel of him. So Krishna, the syllable Krishna is not ordinary. It's the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. And as soon as it is done only due to spiritual potency, that is another difference. Any other name you hear is material names. The matter is full of names only. But Krishna name is not material. It is spiritual potency and the soul inside whose heart is awakened the moment you hear Krishna. So the syllable Krishna is so fantastic, and it even brings Krishna in front of you without delay. That is the beauty of Krishna. So even these ladies who never saw Krishna, who never came in contact with Krishna directly, they also could not check their tears when they heard that he's leaving. It's very natural, and this is an ecstatic symptom. Sadhu, if you would like to speak anything on this. Yeah, we can go for one more words.
So very, very wonderful. The thing is, Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Guru Namaha. The speaker.
I am speaking.
I can speak from here as well. And generally we see some rasas, okay? Shanta Rasa, Guru Prabhupada is mentioning in the introduction to Bhagavad Gita and also in Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction. Many places, even in Bhagavatam, many places, is mentioning about the loving exchange between Krishna and his devotees in Shanta Baba, Dasya Baba, Sakya Baba, Vatsalya Baba, Madhurya Baba. But the thing is, now the question arises, okay, when Krishna is front of us, Krishna is near us, then we can exchange these emotions and relationships, right? Now, the question is, if Krishna is not in front of us, we are not able to see him, then what is the meaning of any relationship? If you say, okay, Yashodamai is the perfection, you see, in Vatsalya Baba. So Krishna was there. She was feeding him. She was doing so many services to him. Now, when Krishna was away, how that service is being done? This is a very excellent concept. That now Krishna is not there. How the relationship is exhibited is by hearing and remembering and chanting. Main very primary activities. So in this material world, we are not able to see Krishna, even though there is Krishna, the illusory potency is so powerful that she is able to cover that, give an idea to the souls that he's not there. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is teaching us that in this material world we are not able to see Krishna. We are not able to see Krishna, but still we will be able to perform pure, unalloyed, loving devotional service and exchange love. So how to do it, we don't know. But when Krishna came here and now he is leaving, so you can see that how they are feeling the separation feeling. And then when he is separated, they will be completely involved in main three things, many things, starting from Sravanam, hearing about Krishna, Kirtanam, talking about Krishna, Smaranam, thinking about Krishna. So Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Mandanam. If there is a deity, they will establish a deity and worship. So if you go to the Kerala, there are 5 temples. From Ernakulam, you can go 5 temples. Each of the temple of Vishnu is established by Panchapandavas. So why this is? Because remembrance and Pada Sevanam and Archanam is possible. Obeisances can be offered. So in this way, they offered obeisances in person to Krishna. Krishna offered obeisances to Kunti. In this way, they had mutual exchanges. So even when Radharani, she felt separation, all the Vrajavasis, they felt separation. Some of I don't know whether all of them or some of them headed to Puri. So this is mentioned in Vidagdha Madhava and Lalita Madhava. That is the first scripture when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Vrindavan. And when he was returning back, this is coming in Chaitanya Leela, a compilation of all the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's authorized books, all the books Guru Maharaj is compiling. In that, this pastime is coming when Lord Chaitanya went to Vrindavan and he came back. But before that, he went once trying to go to Vrindavan, the pretext of trying to go to Vrindavan. He brought in Raghunath Das Goswami, Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. So they were all in their own family affairs and other things, official affairs, but he brought them in the pretext. While coming back, he told Rupa and Sanatana to meet him. So they actually came to know Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there and returning back from Vrindavan, somewhere in Puri, somewhere in Varanasi and Allahabad. So they ran. First Rupa Goswami came, so he met in Allahabad. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was returning back from Vrindavan to Puri. So first he came to Allahabad, then to Varanasi, and then he returned back. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Bengal, and then he returned back. Not full Bengal, some portion of Bengal, and he returned back. So in this time, Rupa Goswami is first coming, so he's meeting in Prayag. At that time, Lord Chaitanya gives him some very nice instructions. So we have got many books like Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, and mainly another 2 books called Vidagdha Madhava and Lalita Madhava. So these 2 books also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed, which we are coming to know, which is actually not that much in the, of course, in the conversation also, but not so much in elaborate. But Rupa Goswami goes to Vrindavan, he writes the book, and he comes back immediately via the same route, whereas via the path of Ganges, and by that time, Sanatana Goswami comes and meets Lord Chaitanya in Varanasi, because he was little late. And they are there very, very long, 3 months continuously. Lord Chaitanya is giving instruction to Sanatana Goswami. And then Sanatana Goswami heads towards Vrindavan. So they both take 2 different paths, and they were not able to meet each other, but they crossed Rupa and Sanatana. Then Rupa Goswami comes to Puri. So when he comes to Puri, the question is asked by Ramananda Raya Prabhu, what is there in the Lalita Madhava and Vidagdha Madhava? So very clearly, in a simple summary, Rupa Goswami is explaining. So mainly, we can see some portions of Lalita Madhava and Vidagdha Madhava. Some portions mention that Radharani and Gopis, they headed to Dwaraka to meet Krishna. And also, so this pastime of writing the book came in Chaitanya Leela book, but the exact details are not there. But one of the authorized Maharajas, he has translated, one Maharaj, So there the details are there in which Krishna, they came and made a very beautiful deity of Krishna and worshipped in the beach. So this is Tota Gopinath. The Tota Gopinath deity is worshipped by Radharani and the gopis in the forest, and Krishna coming to know that they are there, they have come. And he actually sees them also as one of the citizens. They are coming and visiting him from far away. They are looking at him and crying, and they're going back. So Krishna coming to know very secretly in the nights, or sometimes in the pretext of some other activity, he's just coming and visiting them in the forest. And at that time they converse a lot. They sit around Krishna and they converse a lot of things, which he was not able to understand most of it, because the emotion of a devotee is not understood by him. So he actually desired to become a devotee, to just get to know what is this. So when later he came as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was in this conversation where Rupa Goswami is speaking, and also Lalita, both Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Rai are talking. So they three are conversing. There's no any conversation of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's simply listening. As they were walking towards Tota Gopinatha to meet Gadadhara Pandit, on the way they were discussing, and even in Gadadhara Pandit's house they were discussing. So this is on the way to Tota Gopinath temple. They are discussing about Vidatta Madhava, Lalita Madhava and everything. And they go to Tota Gopinath temple and they sit and discuss. And Lord Chaitanya is simply a listener. It's very beautiful pastime where he was very Krishna wanted to hear the confidential talks between all the Brajvasis, gopis. What actually they will be talking about him? What is that? I don't understand. So in this way, very, very beautiful pastimes. That in separation, what they do is they hear of, remember, they talk. So you see in the last line, Prabhupada is mentioning, our intimate relationship with Krishna can be confidentially revived by our talking of, hearing of, and remembering him. This in separation. So I started saying that generally service is done when we are in person. Now we can feed Krishna, we can go around with Krishna, this, that. In association, in nearby, when we are with nearby, we can so much do service. Even with Guru Maharaj, we can do so much service when we are around him. But in separation, in how a love is established, how a relationship or connection is established, is by, this is called Vipralamba Bhava, and it is considered higher. And Krishna wanted even Uddhava to see what is the quality of this in love and separation. And in one sense, we are fortunate in this world that we are very unfortunate because we are away from Krishna in direct service. But we are fortunate in one terms that Lord Chaitanya made us fortunate that to take advantage of this verse, best use of bad bargain. Prabhupada says that best use of bad bargain. Very bad bargain. We forgot Krishna and we came back to a place where there's no, even though there's Krishna everywhere, there's not even a place where he is not there. Avidya Swarat. I'm sorry, what is that? He is present everywhere, omnipresent. And he is everywhere, but how we are feeling, we are not seeing him around us. So this illusory potency has created the situation, but how to take best use of bad bargain? Yes, first you hear from authorized sources, like Prabhupada's purports and Prabhupada books, and also from Guru Maharaj. We hear from authorized sources like this, authentic sources, and then we talk of it, we hear of it, and we remember. Sarvachesaham Hridi Sannivishto. Two things. Everybody's heart is present, but we are not able to see him. So this Vipralamba, so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the secret of how to make the best use of the bad bargain, that in absence of Krishna, we are not able to see Krishna, but how to serve him, which is even more pleasing than when nearby you are serving. Even nearby you are serving is like Sambhoga, it is called nearby. You are nearby, but when two advantages. One is when you're far away, the intensity of remembrance is more, the intensity of love is more, and then you talk, you hear, and you remember. And next is the advantages Whenever there is a separation and when there is a thought intensifies due to this process, then what will happen? It is absolute. See, in material world, you keep remembering somebody. They won't even know. They are in ignorance. They are in darkness. We won't even know we are remembering them. What we are thinking, they don't know. They'll be thinking wrong about us. We will be thinking wrong about them. But both of them will be loving. It's a waste relationship. But in spiritual world, everything is absolute. If you think of Krishna, Krishna is fully aware. Now comes Abhijna. He's fully conscious. So if you are thinking of him, if you are talking of him, Machitta Madgada Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kadayantascha Mamnityam Tukshanti Charaman. Sometimes they are very, very blissful. Sometimes they are very sorrowful, thinking of the separation of Krishna. In this way, various emotions take place. In this way, they actually are absorbed. And Krishna, one time, he cannot withstand their crying in separation and he appears. Like when Tota Gopinath, they were talking, then he appeared. He came searching for them and secretly met them. In this way, the conversations happened between them. So Krishna cannot withstand. So Prabhupada said, like, don't try to see Krishna act in such a way that Krishna will see you. Because in material world, how much ever you see, even as Paramatma, you can see only in the forehand. Even Narada Muni, as a boy, he saw only the forehand Paramatma coming out and standing in front of him, not Krishna. So Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Mandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmani Vedanam. All these things we can do in separation. And that is the possibility in material world. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made us take advantage of best use of the bad bargain. So we should perform these various services continuously and be in touch with Krishna, remember Krishna intensely, taking advantage of this bad situation. Thank you very much. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol, anybody has any questions or comments or realizations? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you very much for the association. So we'll wind up and we will start again congregationally chanting the holy name of the Lord tomorrow at 5 o'clock and followed by Srimad Bhagavatam class. And now we have actually reached the Puri Jagannath place, and so that is way to establish it. Took a little bit time today, and so you can see Puri Jagannath Swami, where it is. Let me show you the Puri.
We can show live and the video is on. We can show the beach.
I don't know where it is. Yes. So stop sharing. No, take this. Puri Beach.
Camera. We are in a hotel behind Haridas Thakur Samadhi, and this is the beach. You can see the ocean. So there are many wonderful pastimes happened here. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took bath here regularly, and all the devotees who come from Navadvip for Rath Yatra, they stay for 4 months. All the 4 months they take bath every day afternoon in the ocean, and they come for lunch. Jagannath Swami Prasadam. So here Jagannath temple is, we are in this is the east coast of India, where Puri is situated in the beach. This is the ocean, and this is a very old guest house room, and there is a pathway which goes, you can see the pathway. This is Haridas Thakur Samadhi, just behind it. Just you go not even 1 minute, adjacent to this building. Haridas Thakur Samadhi is touching this building. So you just go on that gully and immediately you'll get Haridas Thakur Samadhi. And this is Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Maharani and Sudarshan. Many kings have worshipped here. The kings are called Gajapatis. There are many Gajapati Maharajas.
of Utkala. So Utkala is very, very famous. Orissa is called Utkala. So Puri or Bhubaneswar is not the capital. Now for Orissa, Bhubaneswar is the capital. But during Raja Prataparudra's time and other times, Kataka Nagara, or nowadays it is called Katak. But earlier it was called Kataka Nagara during Lord Chaitanya's time. So those times, that is the capital, which is little north of Puri. So here Jagannath temple is very, very famous. The king visits regularly. You can see the king offerings of Gajapati Maharajas are all servants of Jagannath. When Jagannath Rath Yatra happens, they sweep the Rath and sweep the floor and the road, so that Jagannath, I am always your servant, my dear Jagannath, you are the king. So they always show that. So they are all called Gajapati Maharajas. So there are many Maharajas, and one of that is Indradimna, who started, of course, built the temple, revived. And Prataparudra during Lord Chaitanya's time. And he also became a devotee later. He was a devotee from before of Jagannath, but Lord Chaitanya's devotee he became. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing along with his associates, Nityananda Prabhu and others, when he came to Puri. Some scene they have drawn. This is a hotel in which some Rama pastime, where she's asking for the deer, and then that Ravana is coming like a sadhu and kidnapping Sita, and then Odissi is called Odissi. 100% Odissi dance is depicting only the pastimes of Krishna. No demigods, nothing, only Krishna's pastimes. Mainly Dwarka pastimes, some Vrindavan pastimes. So that is that Odissi dance there, and you can see Radha and Krishna in the swing, Jhulan Yatra. In this way, they have drawn many Krishna in Arjuna in Warfield, and Krishna lifting Govardhan, and there's something called Navakunjara. There is one form of Vishnu with 9 types of animals, birds mixed like this. I don't know exactly know the pastime. And then there is a boat festival. In this way, you have a beach there. This is simply paintings. These paintings are famous in Puri, called Patachitra. They're very minute details, very beautiful, beautiful way of depicting things. Very, very beautiful. Chitrapata or Patachitra. They are hand drawings which are done on silk cloth. Paintings. They're very expert in paintings. You see the asana of Jagannath, how minute, and Jagannath's dressing. So minutely they will do it, and very beautiful. It's called Patachitra. So we have an entire village filled with Patachitra people. This way, there are many villages. In one more village, silk thread is made, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told them to make silk thread to carry Jagannath to the Rath from that village. I think it's in Bengal. They bring. And one more also pillows they make for Jagannath to sit and come to the Rath. There are 2 pillows used, one big pillow in which Jagannath will sit, and another pillow, then the pillow will be taken again and put it in the front. So there is a village which and there is another village where they make pots for Jagannath offering. Every day the offering is in the very, very wonderful prasadam of Lord Jagannath, very famous for prasadam. Anybody who comes to Puri takes prasadam. Before even seeing Jagannath, that is so amazing. So here is Haridas Thakur Samadhi. Our ISKCON temple is, you can see that brown building just adjacent to it. So behind the white building is actually, in the brown building, behind the brown building is ISKCON temple. Bhaktivinoda Thakur had his house there, and that has been leased to us. And our ISKCON have, there is a Radha Krishna deity established by Guru Maharaj, and it is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house called Bhakti Bhavan. So we are staying very nearby to all these places, even though in the beach is meant for tourists, and there is some fish and other things to eat, whereas the other side of the city, where actually Grand Road is there, where Rath will go, that is where Jagannath temple is there. We'll take you one more day, tomorrow or day after, we'll take you there. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Jagannath Swami ki jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani jai.
Jai Sri Bhagavad Satsang ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Vanchakalpatarubhyasya
Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripasindhubhyavachapatitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hari 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 Hari